Hey guys, this is the purple base Melga deck profile. I went X1 tonight. If you guys want to hear about the matchups, make sure you tune into the Omni for Game podcast because we will be going through them every week we drop that. This will be episode 19, so check it out. Starting with our Tamas, we're running 4 of the ST16 Sunon. I think this one is mandatory for the purple base right now because you dump a lot of cards in your hand and you're not really getting them back as quickly. This makes sure you're almost always drawing cards. I like it more than the BT7 one by far because you're always drawing with that.
BT6.
Yeah, BT6, thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, we play 4 Christmas Boys. This is your starter deck 16 Gaboo. When you promote him, if your opponent has a Digimon on board, gain a memory. That is also just start of main phase, so if he's already on the board, cool. Extra memory is always good. And then it's a once per turn, draw 1, discard 1. Also very good. Next up, for one-ofs, we do run the starter deck 6. This is your best rookie to have in your stack because this is not a once per turn.
Why do you only play one, Brandon?
Because they're hitting every card in my deck. Trust me, the one-ofs go up after March. So this one's really self-explanatory. It's not a once per turn, that's why it's at 1. This one, we would not play this if this was not at 1. But because we need more Gabumons in name, this has to be in there. The effect almost never comes up, but it's Gabumon in name, so we play it. On deletion, draw 2, trash 1. It's pretty good. And then, of course, the next card going to 1 soon. March, it's coming. Gaboo X. This card's really good because you're almost always guaranteed grabbing 2 cards because he reveals top 4, and then he grabs 2 cards with Garu or X Antibody in name. So you can grab the option, you can grab multiple Garus, you can grab multiple X Antibodies. It's one of the only ways in this deck to search Omni X, which is very good. And then, of course, his effect also trashes a card from hand whenever he does add something. So even if you're only adding 1 card, you still have to trash a card. And then his inheritable is the battle protection for this line, where you get to bot deck 2 cards from trash. It's just generically 2 cards. Could be anything to prevent that deletion. And then I do play 2 Floodgates. I wasn't playing these originally because I didn't see the need, but playing against Merva enough and other decks, like even Grace Nova, this can come up sometimes, preventing your opponent from just popping Mem Boost, preventing them from gaining memory from out of nowhere. So I'm running it at 2 of. Even if it's not good in a matchup, it's just generic discard fodder. So this is a flex spot though. If you want to run like Psychmon or even like the BT4 vanilla, if you want all Gabumons, you can do that. But that's what I'm running with right now. So that's all the level 3s. Next up, moving over to the level 4s. Starting off with the best one, I bumped this up to a 4 of because it is not a once per turn. And it's a 4 to hard cast. So even if you're a little bricked up, you can hard play this guy for 4.
Pause.
And it doesn't feel too bad. Pause.
Pause, plug in 3.
And of course, the inheritable not being once per turn is very good. This allows you to just cycle through your deck really, really fast. This did bite me in the butt during one of my matchups. My only loss tonight was because of this card, because I cycled through my deck too fast. But that's the kind of stuff happens. This card used to be the 4 of, but I actually ended up cutting it to the 2 of and making this the 4 of because I like the extra draw power of that one. But this one has the security effect of whenever it gets hit out of security, you can play a Gabumon or a Mat from hand or trash, which is very good. It almost never comes up because it has to be in security. But if it's there, you get an extra body out of it. It feels good. And then the Wind Digivolving is a draw 1, trash 1, which is also very good because it turns his Evo into a draw 2, trash 1, which is very nice. We like that. And then the most broken card in existence, apparently, because it broke about 3 different decks.
Look at his stupid little face.
This guy is also going to 1 in March. Feels bad. But, of course, he's your X Antibody, so he's Evoing on top of your Garus for free, or he Evos naturally for 3. Wind Digivolving, draw 2, trash 2, so you're drawing 3, trashing 2, and then if you have Garu or X Antibody in source, gain a memory, and then he has the exact same battle protection as the Gaboo X, so this guy fills your hand so quickly that it's honestly broken. And then giving you the extra memory for evoing on top of your level 4s as well, like, it just makes your turns so easy, so easy. This is a legitimate problem card, and they should have never printed it.
Yes, it's like they didn't test it at all.
Alright, slight change up to my level 5 lineup. I am running a full 4 of starter deck 16, Garu. So I was originally running the 1 of but I ended up cutting it because it doesn't interact with a lot of my searching. Like, it only gets grabbed by the Garu, the Gaboo X. So not seeing it, plus not being able to use like my training cards, is kind of why I cut it. This is just way more consistent in the deck. Not to mention, it can unsuspend no matter what. There's no clauses on his unsuspending, because with the promo, the 1 of, if you only have this in your stack, you can't unsuspend. This doesn't care what's in the stack, he'll always unsuspend. So when attacking once per turn, trash a card in your hand, unsuspend. Very good. His inheritable, also when attacking, trash a card in hand, delete a level 4 or lower. Great way to remove floodgates or extra bodies on your opponent's board. And then we only run 3 X's. The new X is actually one of the more broken cards that isn't Garu X in this deck. I think a lot of people kind of sleep on it, on how good it actually is. Especially going into BT15, this card's very nice. So when Digivolving, trash 2 cards in hand. That'll allow him to unsuspend. And then if you have Garu or X Antibody in source, you can pick a Garu or X Antibody back from trash to hand. So essentially you can just drop a card, or drop 2 cards, and then pick one of those cards back up, so he's only trash 1. Or you can grab something that got trashed earlier that you still needed. And then his inheritable, this is why he's broken, because once per turn when attacking, if this Digimon has Garu or Omni in name, you can trash a card to unsuspend. That's actually really broken, because you can essentially double swing with the Omni X, or the Omni, the Blitz Omni, your level 6s. Like, this allows you to swing so many times once you hit your level 6s. So I think that's why he's actually probably one of the stronger cards in the deck.
He's pretty good. They should have limited all of them.
Do what?
They should have limited all of them.
Yeah. Alright, 3 Blast Melga Aces. You're almost never using the counter. You're only ever using this as a cheap Evo. Basically what you're doing is, if you're OTKing your opponent and you're promoting a level 4, you realistically only need access to about 5 memory. And with your memory setter, training cards, and memory boosts, that's really easy to do. You can actually just promote a level 4 with Mat on the board, and you'll have 5 memory right there because of the Garu X's effect and the Mat's effect. So you eventually just Evo into him, ditch 3 cards, and it's free. That's why you play this. The when attacking is also nice because you can trash a card from hand to pop their lowest level. That makes your MetalGa X Antibody better in conjunction with that. But also, if you ever just leave a level 5 on the board, your opponent has to respect this, because it can just end their turn, especially with more cards that are coming up later. So that's why we play him as a 3 of. He's the only other level 6 you need. I don't think running anything else right now is necessary. And then, of course, we do run the 3 MetalGaru X Antibody, the BT9 specifically. I do not run any of the new EX5. I think this deck needs to focus on aggression, going in strong. I think the new MetalGaru X is better at removal and better at stunning your opponent, but this card is better at killing your opponent, and that's what I'm going for. So when Digivolving, he'll unsuspend and gain blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. You never use it to block, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I even forget he gets blocker. And then your turn, once per turn, when he becomes unsuspended, you're bouncing all of their lowest levels back to their hand. Now, that is only a once per turn, but now we can trigger it more consistently with this card, because sometimes you would swing with it, and it would unsuspend during the unsuspend phase, and that's it. But if he's already unsuspended, you can now swing with him, and then unsuspend him to bounce something. So he can be a little more consistent as well, but you're honestly aiming to OTK, so that almost never really comes up. But if you have poverty stacks like that, that can come up. Next, we do run the full Omni package. We have the Blitz Omni and the Omni X. Blitz Omni has a protection effect. I need to really remember that.
Forgot about it.
We both forgot about it. It's hilarious. We both played this card.
I wouldn't have done that if I remembered it, because I would have assumed you would remember.
So when digivolving, Blitz, and he unsuspends, so very good. And then all turns, if your opponent's effect tries to delete him, you can bot deck a level 6 to prevent it.
I think it's trash. Trash levels.
Oh, it trashes it? Yeah, trashes it. Oh, Omnix is the one that bot decks. This is also, these in conjunction are just game enders. You're only going into these when you're winning game. With this one, when you digivolve, you get to look at your, well, when you digivolve and when you attack, you get to look at your opponent's security, bot deck a X Antibody or a level 6 to trash a card in their security, which is very good. Especially since you get a look at the security too, so you can snipe out any bombs. And then, of course, the when digivolving also bot decks all of their highest levels. So in conjunction with this, you can remove an entire wide board. Very nice. But honestly, you're only using it for that first effect where you're trashing a security. Because if they're at 1 security, you can just do this and it's game. They literally can't react to it. There's nothing they can do. Unless you're playing against Colosseum. That came up once.
Trash and Odin's Breath.
Alright, another big change I made in this deck is I run format. This is the only Tamer I play. The reason this is the only Tamer I play is because I want to see this, like, at least once. The earlier I see this, the better, because this essentially makes all of your game a 4 memory start. Because of how often you trash cards, you're almost always guaranteed 4 memory, and then the more of these you get, the more that increases. And a nifty little interaction is because his effect is all turns, if you ever blast Evo your opponent, you can gain additional memory for every card you trash with his effect. So essentially, you can effectively end their turn from 5 or more memory, depending on how many of these you have on the board. I cut the analog and I cut the cool boy. I was always debating between the two because I found the problem is they were bot decking a lot of cards I needed, and the cool boy, like, the extra memory and extra draw was nice, but this deck already powers through cards so quickly, you don't need it. And then the Analog Youth, like, if my stack died, sure, it meant I could recover a little faster, but usually I'm trying to keep, like, a focused OTK. And I didn't think the Analog was really helping that much. Like, I just don't think it was doing what it needed to do for me to keep it. Cool Boy would probably definitely be a better option, but I like the formats. It came up a lot tonight. Next for options, we are just playing 4 of the Wisdom Training. It's the Wisdom Training. Like, it's your purple training card. Reveal 2, add 1 purple, then main delay Evo for free, basically. You know, reduce it by 2. This is the reason I cut the promo, Wear Garu, because this card is just too good not to want to be able to use it every turn. And having to raw Evo for 3 these days is, like, actually bad. Like, who wants to do that? Yeah, so that's a really simple, self-explanatory card. Next, we do play 2 Perp Mem Boost. Honestly, low-key kind of the MVP of the day. Bot decking stuff with this didn't feel too bad, and having this always sitting on my board and having my opponent threatened with extra memory felt really good, because in conjunction with the mat, you're guaranteed 6 memory, which is more than enough than you need to OTK, which is very nice. And of course, getting hit out of security, your opponent just kind of cries. 2 X Antibody. You kind of need it in this deck. I think a lot of X Antibody decks just absolutely need this card. Like, it's kind of part of the gimmick. I don't play Proto Form. I think Proto Form's unnecessary in this deck because it only comes up if your stack dies. But you don't want your stack to die, you want your stack to live. So when attacking, or, well, you can just play it under a body if you have a card. We all know what X Antibody does, and it lets you just X evolve basically whenever you swing. Very nice. And then my personal tech card that I have been playing in Garu since the early days, I play 1 High Speed plug-in D. So this card is very good because as long as you have a Tamer, you can play this card ignoring the color requirements, and you get blocker proof and jamming. So you can't be blocked, and you get jamming. So one of the big problems I had the first week I played this game, or this deck, was I was dying to DP a lot, and Merva sets up multiple retail blockers, and this is a really easy out to that, to where your opponent just can't interact with you, so they get to watch you play solitaire while they just die. I think this is also one of my only realistic outs to Ruin mode, as Sean showed you last week in the gameplay. If I would have had this, I probably could have clinched at least one of those games, maybe, because I think I had at least enough memory to use it. But like, memory is not really an issue in this deck, because once you promote a level 5, you need 2 memory to OTK, which is insane. So having this plus your mat is a guarantee. Feels good. Yeah, so that's all for the deck. It works really well. It's super consistent. There's a reason 2 of the cards in this deck have to be hit to 1. It's honestly ridiculous. I have the purple base good to go. It's all being play tested. I think I like the way I'm playing it right now. So from here, I'm probably going to test out the blue base. So we'll see how that goes. We can try that out next week. But yeah, that's it for the deck profile. If you guys make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time.